everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be my 36 weeks and 37 weeks pregnant update. I did not get to film anything for 36 weeks. Life has been so crazy. So we're doing it all in one, and hopefully it's not that long, and we're just gonna jump right in. So just a reminder to subscribe because we're getting going. Filming this today, I'm 37 weeks and 6 days, so almost 38 weeks. So we're going to rewind, just so you know that. We're going to rewind to 36 weeks. I had my 36-week appointment at 36 weeks and 2 days. Before this appointment, I had a talk with my husband because this was the appointment they were going to check for her position for delivery, and at that point, if she was breech, then they have to talk to you about an ECV. So I knew from the very beginning in pregnancy I was not about an ECV. If you don't know what an ECV is, it's when they have you go to the hospital, they have you under monitoring, they administer medication that loosens your uterus and everything like that so they can turn the baby from the outside. It is just so dramatic and aggressive, and if somebody chose to do that, that's fine for them, but I'm not going to do that. So I wanted to make sure my husband knew we would just be going to a C-section, and that was that. So I showed him some videos on YouTube of what the procedure is like, and he agreed as well after watching them that there's no way that we would do that. The risks are just too great, and we would just do a C-section if that was the case. But we didn't find that out at that appointment because during that appointment there's no dilation. So 36 weeks, she checked for dilation. No dilation. My cervix was completely closed. So she couldn't feel the baby's head with her hand. She just went ahead and scheduled an ultrasound to check baby's position at the next appointment. At that appointment as well, during 36 weeks, we did the cultures that they have to test for. They have to test for gonorrhea, chlamydia, and group B. I found out later that week, I think it was Friday, so it was 36 and 5, and all of them were negative. So I was super happy that I was negative for group B because, like I said in my previous videos, I'm allergic to the antibiotics treated or used to treat for that, so that's relieving. At the start of 36 weeks, I had gained 26 pounds, so 1 pound from 35 weeks, which isn't bad. That's completely normal. My uterus was measuring 37 weeks, which is a week ahead, which has been so consistent throughout pregnancy. So that pretty much sums up my 36-week appointment. For symptoms, during last week, I noticed that fatigue kind of hit hard starting at the end of the week, and that has continued. Just the simplest tasks would make me feel just so drained. So I really have been trying to sleep, and that's another reason why the 36 video never got made, is because if I have any spare time, if I'm bored, if I'm have an option of things to do, I'm going to sleep. So I don't care if it's multiple naps a day. I don't care if I slept 10 hours at night. I don't care. I'm going to sleep because I just feel so drained. Another symptom that kind of kicked up last week was my tachycardia. So I have tachycardia, which is where your heart beats fast. It's like a racing heartbeat for no reason. It just happens if I'm sitting here or at the grocery store or driving or whatever. It just it's a racing heart, which is pretty common during pregnancy. It's from the progesterone and the extra blood volume that we have going when we're pregnant beings. The difference in that is that I also have an arrhythmia with it that was diagnosed, I want to say like 2 weeks ago. So when my heart beats fast and it's like, you know what I'm saying, it adds an extra beat. So it gets off rhythm. So it'll just be like pumping along, and then it'll like add one, and then it stops. And obviously it's not harmful because I'm here right now. But it like takes a pause, and it's like, oh shit, we forked up. You know, we got to get back on rhythm. So that's what it does, and it keeps doing it until the tachycardia episode has passed. The only thing that I have found that really helps with this is if I lay down, then it kind of helps my heart stay in rhythm and the tachycardia episode to pass quicker, and I don't feel as sick. So during these episodes, like last week I was at the grocery store, my heart rate was like 127, and I was just standing there, and I literally felt like I was going to throw up. And you could just tell that it just kept like pausing to like get back into rhythm. So that has picked up, and I've been experiencing more of that, but my cardiologist is like 99% sure it'll just go away when I deliver. He was going to put me on medication, but I literally could just deliver any day now. So he just wanted to wait and see if it would just go away, which it should just go away, and then everything will be back to the norm. I got super into nesting the weekend going into 37 weeks. So at the end of my 36 weeks, I made a complete chore chart and gave it to my husband, was like, look, these are the things that I want to get done. And it was a lot, and it was a lot of random things. So we worked on that like all weekend, different things around the house and different things we needed to buy. And I started getting rid of a lot of things, which is super cool. I just kind of want to go a minimalist vibe, but we'll see how minimal we get. So we were super busy, and then on Sunday after we came home, I had a contraction. I didn't know it was a contraction. I Googled it. I talked to my mom about it. I talked to like a couple other people about it. But the consensus was that it was a contraction. It wasn't a Braxton Hicks just because it was painful. And they say Braxton Hicks isn't painful. I've never had Braxton Hicks, so I don't know what that's about. But I was just rinsing off some dishes in the sink, and then I got like crampy, like a menstrual like cramp from my belly button below. And then it like got really intense and was like tight and sharp, and then it just kind of like faded out. So I would say like the whole thing was like 45 seconds, and then that was it. So it kind of sounds like that like contraction bell curve that we see, and like that a contraction goes on. And then people that I talked to, they said that contractions feel like menstrual like cramps, and that they're intense, and that they can just start being low, and then when they get stronger in like active labor, then it's like up high. So my consensus is it was a contraction. Okay, so then we move into week 37. So like I said before, currently I'm 37 weeks and 6 days, so still in this week. But this week, like my weeks start on Mondays. So on Monday, I was super excited because like 37 weeks is considered full term. It's early term until 39 weeks, but it's still considered full term. So I have waited for this moment forever, not just like in my pregnancy, but forever. Just like in that stage where labor can happen at any second, and you're just waiting for it to happen, and it's just this big surprise. So I was super excited about that on Monday, but then I get a text from my husband at work, and he's like, I don't feel good, and I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, whatever. But no, on his way home, he legit got cold medicine. And he came in the house and he was like, oh no, I'm like really sick. He was coughing. He said his throat hurt. He said his ears hurt. So he starts taking this cold medicine. I'm like freaking out. Because they say, like, oh, don't let your baby be around anybody that's showing signs of illness. Like, keep your baby inside for, like, the first 30 days or until they get their shots at 6 weeks. That sort of thing. Just lay low so nothing, like, gets transferred to the baby. But what do you do if the people that have the baby are the ones that are sick? So I, like, had this huge meltdown. That's just what was happening. So he sleeps on the couch, and the next morning he's like, oh, I have a fever of 100.5. So then I go into even bigger panic mode, and I'm like, no, you gotta go. So he goes and stays in a hotel room, like quarantined, because I'm terrified of getting sick. Like, what if we're both sick? She could come any moment, you know? So it just kind of went from being super excited that labor can happen at any second to feeling like terrified that labor can happen at any second. And it was just so sad that that's what we were thinking. But we just want the best for her. So, you know, I'm like, okay, maybe just stay inside, you know, for like another week and, you know, let dad get healthy and everything will be okay. And I feel bad for thinking that way because I want to meet her so freaking bad. But at the same time, like, I'm her mom and I want to protect her. So I'm like, okay, well, like, I don't want you around sickness. So let's just wait. I'm not going to do anything to induce labor, anything like that. And I was thinking that I was, like, at 37 weeks, and let's not get crazy. I was going to, like, start using the birthing ball and walking a lot more and the whole sex thing. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing anything crazy, like eating a bunch of dates, drinking a bunch of raspberry tea, eating a whole freaking pineapple, that sort of thing. And we're sure as shit not touching a midwife's brew. That's what we're not doing. So I don't want to hear about inducing labor or anything like that, that it's negative, because I was just doing natural things, well, planning to, doing natural things, and like if she's ready, then she'll come, and if she's not, then they don't work. But like besides the midwife's brew, y'all be crazy. I'm not doing any of that. I don't know why you would want to shit your brains out anyways. Okay, so getting back on track, we're not trying to do those things. I've been staying off the ball. Sometimes I use it because it helps my hips. But besides that, we're just doing our normal thing, going along. 37 weeks and 2 days was my 37-week appointment. My husband couldn't go, which was so sad to come to terms with, because he's been to every single appointment, and I had the ultrasound that day, and he missed that, but they allowed me to FaceTime him, so that was cool. So things were setting in, and I was being a Debbie Downer, and it's just not what you planned on doing, but plans don't go according to plan, so we're just trying to stay positive. So at my appointment, we did the ultrasound to check her position, and she is head down posterior, which means she kicks right here. She doesn't kick towards the inside. So like these are her little feet, and then her back is touching my back. So during the appointment, she would turn to where like she was sideways, but she was like kicking my side. So those things are so good. It can mean a harder labor if they're posterior, but they're most likely to flip and turn around when labor begins to descend into the birth canal. But during the ultrasound, I like asked about 3D. I haven't got a 3D ultrasound or anything like that. I haven't had any extra ultrasounds. And I asked the lady if we could do 3D, and she was like, no, we can't, you know, not unless they're ordered for a specific reason. But she was training somebody, And she was like, oh, but she's never seen one, so I'll do it as like an educational purpose. And I was like, okay. So she did that and she turned it on, and my little baby's face looks just like my face. And it is the cutest thing. I compared the picture to my baby picture, and it is like the same thing. Like, she has my nose, she has my lips. It is just so cute. And then she said that she has tons of hair, which I didn't even know they could see that on there, but she showed me like what it looked like, and it's like little white lines or something. And she said that she has tons of hair. So I'm so over the freaking moon that she is my little mini me. Like, that is just so cute. So I can't wait to meet her. Yes. So then the ultrasound tech checked her size, and that day she was 6 pounds 15 ounces. So she was just over being, she was like almost 2 weeks ahead on weight, which has been usual from the previous ultrasounds that we've had. She's 69th percentile. So I was really happy to hear that. Like, she's almost 7 pounds. Well, she's probably more than 7 pounds now. But just hearing that, like, I always imagined during pregnancy that when you think the baby is 7 pounds inside, that it would be so much harder than it is. And for some people it might be, or I don't know, but I know for me, I just imagine me being like so on the struggle bus to be able to get around or anything like that. And really, I feel great. And the only time I've struggled with walking was when the pelvic pain was happening, which has kind of happened this week, but I think it's because I've been more active since my husband's been out of the house, that I've taken up like his chores and stuff like that. So I do a lot more squatting than I did before. Like, if I would drop something, he would pick it up. Let's be honest. Like, he's an all-star. So I've been doing that, and it's been a little sore, but still, like, my back feels great. Everything feels great, and I'm just so blessed. And I'm just so happy to hear that she's 7 pounds. The doctor then checked for dilation, which no dilation. So that hasn't happened yet. And when she checked that time, it was really painful. I don't know if she just had like a long nail or something, but it felt like it was scratching me or like stabbed me. But so that surprised me, because the first time it was not painful. She doesn't say anything about the softening of the cervix. She just says like, oh, your cervix is still closed. Symptoms that I talked to her about this week were that my hands have been getting like discolored and really red and splotchy, and they've been itchy. And she said that she wasn't worried about that at all. That it's very common that with like the blood flow and the hormones and everything to cause that. My hands have been like swelling on and off, and that's the first swelling that I've had. But my urine was good, and at the beginning of 37 weeks, I had gained 29 pounds. So that's 3 pounds different than the week before, which is completely unusual. Not sure why, but I'm not mad at it either. 29 pounds isn't bad. I also told her that my husband was sick. She said to stay away from him. I said, okay, he's in a hotel. But obviously he can't stay there the whole time. He ended up staying there for 2 nights. So from Tuesday to Thursday, he was there. And then he came home. He said he was feeling better. He went to work on Thursday. You know, all of that. And then Friday, he just got pink eye, which I guess can happen. Like, he went to the doctor, so I guess it can happen if you have a cold and it's a virus and it can like spread to your eye. So it's just been stressful with that and very different. He's still been sleeping on the couch, and he wears a mask, a surgical mask at home. So I'm just really trying to not get sick. So baby can come when she wants to come, and we talked about it, and we're still gonna be so happy if I go into labor. We're just gonna be a little concerned, you know, if he's still sick and that stuff spreads to her, but we're just gonna try our best, and we can't do anything else about it. So we just have to accept that that's how it is right now, and she might not come for another week or another 2 weeks, and he could be completely fine by then. The fatigue is still happening, like I said before, that I get tired very easily, or just throughout the day, no matter what, and I'll like want to take a nap or lay down, just kind of do whatever. Just like today that I like made lunch and then went grocery shopping, and that was literally all I could muster. So that's what I did, and I lay down, and I finally mustered the courage to sit in here and do this video. I am hoping to do a video on my pregnancy diet that I have ventured on throughout this journey. But like I said, with everything going on, because we have personal stuff going on too, we'll just have to see how that rolls out. So I think that covers everything with the whole EBC discussion, and then like the cutie ultrasound, and my husband being sick and me being tired. I think that covers everything. So I will see you guys in my next video.